Hey y'all. Yep, you guessed it. I'm trying to mind my business and I just can't. No, I'm actually in one of my rooms getting my winter clothes together, right? And God had been talking to me because, I was in here talking to him, listening to worship music and stuff. And, he was saying some stuff and I was like, oh, okay, like, do I need to make a word? Do I need to make a word? And it wasn't until I pulled this vest out and I was like, okay, wait. So this vest, me and my mama always jokingly call it my vest of many colors, right? And we know that in the story of Joseph in Genesis, his father gifts him with a robe of many colors, and that caused his brothers to be jealous, right? And then literally the next verse is like, and then Joseph had a dream, and he told his dream to his brothers, and they hated him even more. Like, how is it even possible to hate him more than they already had hated him, right? And so that kind of goes back to what we were talking about where we ended it last night. Like some folks just gonna be irritated, right? Like it is what it is. So let's rewind because this is not where God started speaking to me this morning. He was reminding me that El Shaddai had kept popping up in my head when I had been praying like the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I meant to Google what does El Shaddai mean again? Because, God has many names that describe his character. And El Shaddai is not one that I just be remembering off the top of my head like that. And so it means God Almighty, right? And I had a moment in prayer probably last month where I was praying and I had said, nothing can stop this mighty move of God, and the Spirit fell on me. Not only that, but last night when I was praying, I kind of prayed the same thing. And I was saying, the devil can't stop it. That's why he's mad. The people who are going to be irritated and jealous and upset, they can't stop it. It's making them hate you even more, right? And not only that, but we can't stop it. And that's the moment I had last night. Like, God, I couldn't even stop what you was doing. Like, even when I ran off scared, even when I didn't even want to submit and obey, cannot stop this mighty move of God. Y'all, these prodigals cannot stop the mighty move of God. Like, nobody can stop the mighty move of God. Why? Because he's El Shaddai, God Almighty. Okay? The overpowerer. Okay? That is God. That is who God is. And so I know y'all probably wondering, what does that got to do with Joseph? Okay, when it was time, because we talked about that in the last week too, when it was time for God to exalt the humble Joseph, who had been in the pit, that the people that were jealous had thrown him in, who had been in prison, who had been falsely accused, all of these things. When it was time for him to be exalted, because it is God who exalts you, nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop this mighty move of God. And so that's what he was reminding me of. When it was time for Joseph to be exalted. He's taking me back to Joseph today. Okay? Joseph's story, exactly. Nobody could stop that. And it came, it was a mighty move of God when Joseph was exalted, when he was bought out of prison. This is why hard work is hard work. Okay? Because what did Joseph do? He fed, provided for, took care of the same people who betrayed him, who threw him in the pit, all because he was favored, all because he received, this, I guess you could call it favoritism from his father, right? He was you daddy favorite, they felt the way, right? He still fed those same exact people, okay? Hard work is hard work. Don't think for 5 seconds God is not exalting us, expecting, and it was actually a requirement that our hearts be right. Okay? It's so much, I was about to say, swimming around in my head right now. But when I saw my vest today, I've had this vest for at least 2-3 years now. When I saw it, I just got so overwhelmed because I was just like, and not only that, I'm going to throw in one more thing. I'm in that room. If some of y'all may remember my the Doors video that I did about the bones, that Maren Morris song, is that her name? But how this door to this exact room that I'm in right now, how it was acting funny and it only seemed to act right is if the winds were blowing a certain way, it would act weird, or if the air was on, it would close. It was just a weird situation. But he is the overpowerer. If God opens a door, it's going to stay open. And if he closes it, it's going to close. It don't matter what you or that person or those people think, or what they try. He is El Shaddai. And I think I just got overwhelmed about the door because I really can't believe my life. And that came up again too. And I was listening to Melody Music and he said, "What a Life" in his song. And he already brought that to my attention the other day when I was listening to Janae Aiko. What a life. Okay. What a life that I've been given. What a life that I've been living. What a life. What a life. Can y'all imagine how Joseph felt in that moment, in those moments where he was being exalted? Can y'all imagine how he felt? Well, this is a turn of events. Like, just imagine. Because I ain't actually been in, like, no actual physical pit, right? Or in prison. But it felt like it spiritually, right? So just imagine how that felt for Joseph. So this is just a reminder. Stay humble. And God is exalting you, and there's nothing that I can do about it. But even the people who have tried to do something about it, God still expects our hearts to be right. Okay? He's so good. I'm just overwhelmed with love and gratitude and thankfulness this morning. And I pray that you all are too. Like, this is such a pretty vest. I do love this vest.